Welcome to Agility's Fair Labor and Human Rights Training. Human rights allow individuals the freedom to lead a dignified life. Numerous human rights organizations have noted that forced labor and human trafficking are widespread problems in many emerging markets. At Agility, we believe in taking a proactive approach to human rights, especially when it comes to potentially vulnerable groups, like migrant workers or contract workers. Agility's commitment to fair labor policies goes all the way to the top of our organization. Our CEO and Vice President, Tarek Sultan, says, Agility is committed to providing an environment where employees' human rights are both respected and protected. We have high standards on fair labor. It's an essential part of the Agility way of doing business. Protecting human rights is a moral imperative and a legal requirement. There are more than 80 international laws protecting human rights, and our customers are bound by them, just as we are. Our Code of Business Conduct includes a zero-tolerance policy towards forced labor, child labor, discrimination, and harassment. We have policies around work hours and wages, personal data confidentiality, health and safety, and protection for complainants. You have an important role in upholding these policies. Throughout this video, we will be talking about that responsibility. Forced labor policy. Agility does not tolerate slavery, prison labor, or labor demanded of employees because of their debt. We must be transparent with employees about their job requirements, any risks associated with their job, what they will be paid, and any death, injury, or disability benefits. Agility does not work with employment agencies that require recruitment fees, and employees should never pay any recruitment fees to work for us. Agility will not take custody of employees' passports unless required by law or by local authorities. Here is how human resources should uphold these policies. HR should document job requirements, compensation, and benefits. Employees get one copy of this documentation, and the matching copy goes in the employee's files. HR is responsible for verifying that the language of the offer letter and contract matches in every detail. If employees need assistance understanding the paperwork, HR will provide a contract in the employee's native language. There are policies in place to help HR combat unethical labor agencies. HR should vet labor agencies carefully. Ensure that all contracts with recruitment agencies include language that forbids and penalizes recruitment fees. Ask employees to sign a document before they are hired declaring that they understand that they do not have to pay fees to work for Agility and that they have not done so. Follow up with new hires about whether their agency charged them fees. If you believe a particular agency charged recruitment fees, take immediate action. Terminate the contract with the agency, pursue legal action, and blacklist the agency with future work from Agility. Be sure to notify compliance about any issues with the labor agency. Compliance maintains a master database of disbarred agencies. Our policy about withholding passports is quite simple. Don't retain employees' passports. If the law or local authorities require you to retain a passport, employees must sign a consent form that specifies we will return the passport within 24 hours of a written request. Temporarily retained passports should be kept in a safe place. If a passport cannot be returned because it is with a government agency for processing, Human Resources should provide a written explanation to employees, including the expected return date. If an employee requests a passport and it is not returned within 24 hours without just written cause, the party responsible for withholding the passport will face disciplinary action, potentially including termination. Child labor policy. Agility adheres to minimum age laws and regulations in all countries where we do business. Before we hire an employee, we ask for proof of an official birth date. Employees must show an original government-issued document such as a passport, national ID, or birth certificate to prove they are of legal working age. HR should keep a copy of this document in each employee's file. All contracts with labor agencies should include language forbidding child labor, and agencies should certify in writing that they do not use child labor. If you believe there is a child working for Agility or any of our suppliers, take immediate action. Report it to compliance and terminate the contract. Pursue legal action and blacklist that agency or supplier. Discrimination and harassment policy. Agility is an equal opportunity employer and does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, gender, age, nationality, sexual preference, or disability. We uphold this policy during the hiring process and during employment. Agility will keep the workplace safe from harassment or any words, actions, or behaviors that distress, annoy, or threaten. We do not tolerate verbal, physical, visual, or psychological harassment of any kind. We ask employees who feel that they are being discriminated against or harassed to tell their line supervisor, human resources, and compliance in that order. Every complaint should be heard, investigated, and documented clearly. If the complaint is validated, HR should take appropriate corrective action, including counseling, verbal or written reprimand, education, suspension or termination, aligned with local laws based on the employee's work location. If no violation is found, employees should be notified and the case documented and closed. Employees have the right to escalate the case to compliance if they are not satisfied with the results of the assessment. Work hours and wages policy. Agility compensates employees fairly based on the industry and local labor market. Human resources and line supervisors are responsible for ensuring that wages are paid on time. Manual or electronic time records are documented. Rest periods are honored depending on the local laws and the type of work an employee performs. Employees receive detailed wage statements showing days worked, salary details, and any allowances. If we ask an employee to work overtime, it can never be for more than local laws allow. Employees should be paid the full legal amount for their extra time. Deductions from wages as a disciplinary measure shall not be permitted. All deduction from wages must be documented and communicated to employees in advance of the pay period. Deductions must never exceed the employee's ability to ensure a decent living income. Employees have the right to escalate concerns if they have questions about a deduction. Safe Workplaces Policy. Agility is committed to maintaining environmentally friendly operations and a safe workplace for all. Employees should receive up-to-date training and communication to keep them protected at work. Agility must pay for any required safety or protective equipment. Employees cannot be asked to pay for required equipment or uniforms. In select cases in which Agility provides housing for our workers, human resources must ensure that the housing is clean and safe, has emergency exits and firefighting equipment, as well as adequate heat and ventilation, hot water, and a reasonable amount of personal space for each occupant. Detailed Agility housing standards are available on Agility's intranet. Personal Data Confidentiality Policy. Personal data include salary details and performance evaluations. Agility will not release personal data unless required by law, and we only give access to data to personnel with a clear business need for it. These personnel should sign a confidentiality statement before they review employee records. Employees should recognize what constitutes personal data and treat it as confidential, even if it's their own. Protection for Complainants Policy. It is our policy to hear and investigate every issue. Agility will not discriminate against anyone who has reported a fair labor policy violation in good faith. You should document and investigate any concerns raised or escalate to the appropriate authority. You must maintain the anonymity of complainants and people under investigation. While the case is being evaluated, no HR action should be taken to transfer or remove parties. After an investigation is complete, HR must notify employees of the outcome in writing. Agility will take appropriate actions to right any complaints filed wrongfully and maliciously. Remember that these rights apply to Agility employees and contract workers. Fair labor policies must be enforced with the agencies that supply contract labor to our company. Communicating concerns. It is important for employees to feel comfortable reporting grievances. We can't fix issues we don't know about, Employees should start by raising concerns to their manager or to human resources, who should document the concern in writing and take steps to address the issue. If employees feel uncomfortable speaking with their manager or HR, or feel that the issue needs to be escalated, they should get in touch with Ethics and Compliance team by email at ethics@agility.com. Or employees can go to www.agility.ethicspoint.com to write an anonymous report or to look up the toll-free hotline number for their country. The secure hotline is run by an independent third party. HR resources. We offer a number of resources to help you uphold our fair labor promise. These include employee training materials, toolkits, and a self-assessment and audit framework. If you have any questions about fair labor after watching this video, contact the Corporate Social Responsibility team at csr@agility.com.